Hey, want to buy a Jeep for cheap? Well, just pay Invoice. Find out how and where on this week's Cheaper Jeeper TV, as well as some other money-saving tips. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome to Cheaper Jeeper TV again. I'm Dino, your host. Now, before we start talking about buying a Jeep at invoice prices, let's go over a few terms. First, there's invoice. Invoice is what the dealer says they've paid for the Jeep. Then there's the MSRP, the manufacturer's suggested retail price. That's what the dealer wants to sell you the Jeep for and its options in order to make some profit. Then there's the freight and PDI. That's what they say they paid to have it shipped and to prepare the Jeep for when you pick it up. And then there's the admin or dock fee. There's also other associated fees that some dealers add on. For example, I've read on a forum once that a dealer attempted to add on advertising fees. So that's something you don't have to go along with. Then, of course, there's going to be state and provincial taxes and air conditioning tax and those kinds of things that you really can't do anything about. And all of these things add up to the dealership's window of opportunity to make some money. Even when a new model comes out and dealers say that supply and demand is such that they can't negotiate a very low price, you could still get a good deal. Some strategies that people use are, for example, one, you might have a certain amount of % discount that you want to have off the MSRP and you go and try to negotiate that offer. Step 2, you can enlist the help of some haggle-free services, and I've placed a link in the description section below on some of the pros and cons of using those services. Then 3, join an online Jeep forum or two and do a search in the forums of how other people have done on their Jeep purchases. And in fact, that's what I did when I purchased my Jeep at invoice price. 4, there's watch the odd Cheaper Jeeper TV episode, of course. And then 5, use any or all of the above strategies and time it for the end of the month when dealers are more eager to sell so that they can meet their quotas. So there's still more to learn. We've discussed invoice, we've discussed MSRP, now there's this quotas and some other factors that we should discuss. It's reasonable to believe that the amount you negotiate between invoice and MSRP would be some of the dealer's profit. But that's not the whole story. Then there's holdback. This is an amount of money that the dealer receives from the manufacturer after they report the sale of the Jeep to you. And on a $50,000 Jeep Wrangler, it's to the tune of 3% or $1,500 profit that the dealer gets beyond what you were aware of. Some of us were not even aware of this holdback, and dealers would show you the invoice price and say they can't negotiate that low because they still have to make some money, but they still are making money on holdback. But once dealers reach a certain quota or benchmark of unit sales, the dealer earns additional profits on all units that have been sold in the form of bonuses on top of the holdback. So all these items I've discussed here explain how some dealers can be motivated to sell at invoice, as they still make a profit on these items, but also stand to make even more profit when their sales volume reaches their monthly bonus levels, allowing them to realize even more profit. That's why going to the forums, learning where and who are these volume dealers is necessary, and why making your offer at the end of the month can be helpful. Also, making an offer at the end of the year can be easier as dealerships are trying to reach their annual goals or targets, which can put them beyond thresholds for even more bonuses. So pay invoice. So how do you determine what the invoice price is of a Jeep Wrangler and its options? And how can you find which dealers are willing to play? I paid invoice for my new Jeep Wrangler. I used tip number 3. I joined and researched online Jeep forums, and I looked for tips from other Jeep enthusiasts. I was able to discover their best deals and at which dealerships they got them. I googled Canadian Invoice Pricing Ontario Forum. I was able to locate and print out a list of the invoice prices of the various Jeep Wrangler models, and I learned which dealerships would honor invoice pricing. You can do the same. Google search for your province or your state as well. Also, a link on our website will give you more details on how dealerships sell vehicles. Also, there's this link right here which shows a map of dealerships in the United States and at what percent below invoice those dealerships are selling for. This map doesn't exist for Canada, so you have to use the previously mentioned strategy of going to the forums for that, using the link I'll provide in the description section, but this link would be very helpful to our United States viewers. For me, the final dollar value out the door amounted to about 10 to 11% off the MSRP. So if you can't find invoice information for the Jeep you want in your area, shoot for 10% off and try to do it at the end of the month. In my area, that's not bad. Also, I've included some links to articles and resources that I've discussed in the description section of this video. So there's a lot of other cheaper Jeepers out there doing this, and they're sharing their experience and results and information online on the forums. So you can do it too. Now for some cheaper Jeeper tips. In this segment of our video, this is where we show our viewers other ways that they could save money with some incidental tips. And in this segment, we're going to talk about ways that you could use Jeep Wrangler forums. I'm going to provide for you a list of the forums that I've used and demonstrate for you a technique that you can search for what you're looking for. Let's take a look at our screen right now, and you can see a list here of a number of Jeep Wrangler forums that I use. They are in alphabetical order. They're not in any order of preference whatsoever. They're all very good. You'll also find, as I have, that they are filled with other Jeep Wrangler fans just like you that are willing to help each other out with some great information from products that they use that they feel work out well, from aftermarket options that they have on their Jeeps that they're happy with or even unhappy with. So it's an amazing resource for you to check out, and I encourage you to check any of these out. I personally use them on a Tap-a-Talk app on my phone, so I get an alert whenever something new is posted that I would find interesting. I also have them bookmarked on my computer when I want to work in that environment. But what I really like to show you is the ability to search for what you're looking for in particular. For example, in each of these forums, they have search functions and you can search within them. However, they aren't as functional as doing your search this way. If you look up here on the screen, I'll go into Google. And let's just say, for example, I am looking up an aftermarket product such as, say, leather seats. So I would type up here in the search engine, aftermarket leather seats Jeep Wrangler, and you can put JK or JL, whichever one that you're interested in, and then make sure you add the word forum. Otherwise all you would get is advertisements and websites that are selling those seats. But when you type in the word forum, it will search in all the forums that are covering Jeep Wranglers, JK or JL, whichever you specified. And here you go, you can look on the screen, you'll see all the places where there's something to learn about in terms of the aftermarket leather seat options in a Jeep Wrangler. So if you use this technique when you're searching for something rather than searching within the forums, you'll get better results. In fact, even in the forums that I've read people say that searching on Google is a better way. When you search just in one forum, you're just going to get the results just in that forum. But when you do it in Google where you add the word forum on the end, you'll find in all of the Jeep Wrangler forums where they address this issue. So it's a very handy technique. I hope that you found it helpful. And please write down in the comments section below some tips that you might have to share with other members of our CheaperJeeperTV community. And we'll now go to our next feature, subscriber tips, to see what some people have suggested. And now for subscribers tips. This week's Makes Sense feature, we have a subscriber tip. Hey, CheaperJeeperTV, I just wanted to share that I really like the WeatherTech brand of all-weather floor mats. They fit perfectly and rise high enough up the sides to protect my carpets. I'm finding that my carpets are not getting ruined by wet snow and salt like other mats that do not provide the protection. Signed, Flora Mats. Hey Flora, thank you for your tip. I have the WeatherTech floor mats in my Jeep as well, and as you can see in this picture, it does a great job at collecting the salt and sand off your boots. And as the arrows show in this picture, the sides of the mat protect the carpet from getting salt covered and all wet. Great tip, Flora, thank you very much. Hey, that's another installment of Cheaper Jeeper TV. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Special shout out goes to the lovely town of Dundas and to the Hamilton Area Jeep Club in those parts. And if you have any money saving suggestions, please remember to leave them in the comment sections where we will feature them in subsequent videos. Until next time, this is Cheaper Jeeper, helping you get the most for your money so you can get the most to your Jeep. Take care.